Ever walk into a room and just like feel captivated by a piece of furniture?
Totally.
Like there's this magic to it, right?
Yeah.
That's a furniture designer at work, but it's way more than just aesthetics.
Oh,
It's
absolutely.
like serious skill, creativity, the whole thing. So today we're diving deep into this world, and we've got some awesome resources from RoleCatcher.
They're great.
They're like the career experts. They've got over 3,000 career guides,
Wow.
13,000 skill guides, you name it.
It's amazing.
We're focusing on furniture design, obviously. But even if you're not, like, about to enroll in design school,
Right.
if you just, love cool furniture, this is going to be fascinating.
For sure. Because furniture design, it's all around us.
Yeah.
Like it impacts our lives every day,
Oh,
even if
yeah.
we don't always realize it.
It's so true. Like, think about it. Have you ever been to, I don't know, like a restaurant?
Oh, yeah.
And there's that one chair you just gravitate toward.
All the time.
That's what we're talking about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And RoleCatcher, they have this guide, Furniture Designer, the complete career guide.
Okay.
And it gets into how involved these designers are.
Okay.
It's not just, oh, that chair looks nice.
Right.
It's the materials.
Yeah.
The ergonomics, like how comfortable is it?
Yeah.
How do you even make the darn thing? It's a whole process.
It's that mix of, like, art and practicality.
Totally.
It's super cool. And speaking of cool, RoleCatcher's Guide on Specialisms, it points out there are designers for, like, the most specific stuff.
Oh, tell me.
Like, did you know there are furniture designers just for kids' spaces?
No way.
Yeah. They think about how kids grow, safety, the whole 9 yards.
That's so important.
Right. And then there's sustainable design, which is huge now,
Huge.
using, like, reclaimed wood or even new eco-friendly materials.
Which is so key these days.
Right. So it's more than meets the eye,
It's a lot more.
Mhm.
It's problem solving. It's the environment. It's understanding people.
Yeah. And speaking of understanding, RoleCatcher's Functions and Core Abilities Guide,
Okay, yeah.
it blew my mind with the skills you need.
Really?
Like, yeah, obviously you need that artistic
That's
side,
of course.
but there's other stuff.
Like what?
Well, they said reading comprehension is huge.
Seriously?
Yeah. You're always looking at specs, researching materials, keeping up with trends.
Right. I guess that makes sense.
Right. And critical thinking is huge.
Oh, for sure.
You've got to analyze design briefs, solve problems during production, like be one step ahead.
That's a lot to juggle.
Right.
Wow. You've really got to have your thinking cap on for this.
It's true. Like furniture designers, they're almost like detectives or something.
Right.
Always got to be on their toes.
Absolutely. And there's this whole other layer too.
Right.
Technology,
Oh, yeah, of course.
The guide even talks about how big CAD software and 3D printing are becoming in the field.
Makes sense. I feel like every job I hear about these days involves tech somehow. But for furniture?
Oh, yeah. So CAD software, that's completely changed how they design and picture the furniture.
How so?
Well, think about it.
Yeah.
You could build these crazy detailed 3D models, try different materials like finishes,
Oh, cool.
even see what it looked like in like a real room, all before you even make anything.
That's got to save so much time and money in the long run.
It's huge. And then there's 3D printing,
Okay.
which is like perfect for making those early models, those prototypes.
Ah, I see.
And for shapes, that would be like impossible to do the old way.
I was looking at RoleCatcher's career guide earlier, and they have this whole section about the different stages a furniture designer goes through.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. They start as assistants, then they're leading projects, and some even start their own companies.
That's so cool.
I know. It's like a roadmap for their career.
Yeah, totally.
It's really interesting to see how it all progresses. And speaking of progressing, there's a whole section on portfolios, too.
Ah, portfolios, the bane of every creative's existence.
Right. But RoleCatcher, they had some really good tips on how to make yours stand out. Like, don't just show the final product.
Show your work.
Yeah. Show your process, your thinking.
Makes sense.
Right. Like sketches, 3D models, even the fabrics you were thinking of.
Oh, that's smart.
Right. It gives them a peek into your brain, how you work.
Definitely. Gives them the behind the scenes.
Exactly. One thing that struck me going through all these RoleCatcher guides, networking,
Yeah.
they really stress how crucial it is in this field.
Well, for sure. It's all about collaboration, right?
Right.
Working with the people making the stuff, other designers.
Yeah,
It's a team effort.
totally. And they also talk about staying up to date with trends.
Well, yeah, you've got to know what's hot, what's not.
It's true, I guess, especially in the design world, things change so fast.
Exactly.
Speaking of staying ahead of the game, I gotta ask about RoleCatcher's interview prep. They say they can help you, like, ace any design interview.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that.
But, like, what's their secret?
Well, they've got this huge database, right? Over 120,000 interview questions, and they're all for design jobs.
120,000. Wow.
I know, right? And they cover everything. Technical stuff, design theory, even your own design philosophy.
So it's not just like memorizing answers, because I feel like you can always tell when someone's doing that.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's more about figuring out what they really want to know.
Okay, so you use the questions as a starting point and then really dig into your own experiences.
Exactly. And that's where the AI comes in.
The AI.
Yeah, this is like their big thing. It's really cool. You actually answer practice questions, but you record yourself.
Wait, what? So it's like a mock interview.
Totally, but with AI.
That's so cool.
Right. And then it analyzes not just what you say, but how you say it. Like your tone, how fast you're talking, all that.
Wow.
And then, get this, it gives you personalized feedback.
No way.
Yeah, it'll tell you what you did well in, what you could improve, even like your ums and likes.
That's amazing. It's like having your own personal coach.
It really is. And that's so helpful, especially if you get nervous during interviews.
For sure. So you're saying it's tailored for you, not just generic advice.
Exactly, which is way more valuable. Helps you feel ready and confident.
That's awesome. Now, looking at RoleCatcher's research, are there any interview questions they say pop up a lot for furniture design? So it sounds like furniture design interviews are less about like knowing every single thing and more about how you think, how you solve problems.
Exactly. You got it. RoleCatcher actually mentions this one question that comes up all the time, like, tell me about a design challenge you faced and how you dealt with it.
Ah, that's such a classic. I feel like every field asks that in some way.
Yeah, it's common, but for furniture design, it means something more. It's
Yeah.
not just like, oh, it fixed this thing. It's showing how you think as a designer.
Right, right. So instead of saying the chair leg broke, you'd talk about like what materials you tried first, how the weight was distributed, maybe even where you got the inspiration for the chair shape in the first place.
Exactly. You connect the dots for them. You show you're not just fixing stuff, you're designing from the ground up.
It's like being that detective, like we were saying before.
Yes, thinking it all through.
Yeah.
And another big one RoleCatcher mentioned is about trends. They'll ask, like, what current trends in furniture design are you excited about?
Interesting. So it's not even about if you like those trends, right? It's more like, are you paying attention to what's going on in the design world?
Exactly. They want to see that you're engaged, that you know what's new and cool. A good answer might be about biophilic design, bringing nature indoors,
Oh, yeah, I've heard about that. It's super cool.
right? Or using sustainable materials. Like there's this stuff, mycelium, that's amazing.
Mycelium, what's that?
Okay, so it's basically from mushrooms. It's like the root structure, but you can use it to make these awesome eco-friendly materials.
Whoa, that's wild. I had no idea.
Yeah, it's super innovative. And that's the thing about furniture design. It's always changing.
Totally. It seems like it's got this cool mix of like tradition, the craftsmanship, but then it's always pushing boundaries with new tech and ideas.
That's a great point, and that's what makes it so exciting. So to wrap up our deep dive here, it sounds like if you want to be a furniture designer, you can't just have good taste, right?
Mhm.
You need that sharp mind too.
Totally. And I'm hearing it's not enough to just follow trends. You've got to be the ones setting them, creating those pieces that are beautiful, but also practical, stuff that lasts. And hey, if it sparks a little joy along the way, even better.
I love that. Sparking joy. That's what it's all about, right? And for anyone listening who's feeling inspired, go check out RoleCatcher. Seriously, their guides, all the info they have, it's super valuable, whether you're just starting out or you've been designing for years.
Absolutely. And hey, even if you're not going to be the next like design superstar, knowing about good design, it makes your life better. Next time you're in a room, look around, think about the furniture, the thought behind it. You might be surprised at what you notice. Thanks for joining us.